Dude, and welcome back to Hanging Out with the Dudes. I'm your host, PC, or maybe Kenny. We can't tell the difference today, but we got a great show for you today. But as always, I can't speak. Kenny's got me a little bit. Can't speak just like he can't. Main man from way out west. I'm struggling today, but how are you doing?
Hello, folks.
Moment of silence for the OMG chants and
It has not been a good stretch.
Let's go Mets. Hey, at least the Jets won today.
No, they did not.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What is that?
New England Patriots. Hey man.
Whoa. What was that for?
I don't know. I'm just in a mood today, okay? I had a lot go on.
Okay, so I got a lot going on, and I'm not allowed to be in a mood, so I have to excuse you making my mood worse just because you're in a mood?
Yeah, 100%.
Huh.
As long as we're on the same page.
Think about that one for a little bit. Do I need 5 or 10 today?
Just 5.
Questions. Got you.
Just 5 for Smarter Dumb today. We'll get to those that at the very end of the show. Hopefully, Mr. K-Stel will be able to come hang out with us. He said he'd be on roughly around 10 o'clock. But while we are waiting for him, we can go over our normal scheduled broadcast here and start off with the college football. Did we have a great week this week? First off, I thought KU was going to be able to win for the first time in 16 years to the K-State Wildcats. They ended up doing what they've been doing all season, which is blowing a fourth quarter lead and just not getting the job done. So, let's Leopold, I kind of wish you would have went to Washington. Jalen Daniels, I wish your back would be more messed up, so maybe give somebody else an opportunity. The only bright spot we've ever had is Devin Neal, who ended up having the most touchdowns in a Kansas uniform ever. So congrats to him, I guess, but we're still lost, still 2-6, not going to make a bowl game. So yeah, that was really depressing. Speak of depressing, how about them Mizzou Tigers? Getting absolutely killed by Alabama. Alabama's homecoming wanted to make sure everybody still knew who they were. And even though they have 2 losses on the year, who knows? Maybe something will happen, and we'll end up getting to see them in a first-round matchup in the college football playoff, which would be really exciting. Mizzou, definitely not happening this year. They're still going to be better than Kansas, which is not saying much. But it is what it ends up being. Let me see my notes here. So K-Stel and I were really high on Navy today. We'll get to our picks here a little sooner. But Navy got absolutely killed. Like, it wasn't even fair. Like, Notre Dame, what the heck? Like, those guys are our troops. They're defending our countries, and you're going to do them boys like that? What for? What for, Notre Dame? Unbelievable. No respect for our troops. Notre Dame's actually pretty good. We'll have to wait and see, though. I don't know. They had one really, really bad loss in there. And then we had Texas A&M play the Nick Howard, his team, the LSU Tigers. LSU was in the lead at the very beginning, and it was a really great game until Texas A&M decided to run the ball. They put the backup in, and he ended up making a huge impact. They just ran the ball down LSU's throats and ended up winning the game. Texas A&M, after one early loss, has really looked really, really good in these past few weeks. So we'll have to wait and see on them. Not a huge week, but always some good stuff there. Vanderbilt almost beat Texas, horns down, trashy Texas. No one likes you, barely got the win, should have done better. It's Vanderbilt for crying out loud, but I guess Bama lost to them too. So I've got our picks for the week. Actually, you know what, P4? I don't feel we should do this quite yet, just because Mr. K-Stel isn't quite with us yet. So,
Yes?
So let's just move it on over to the NFL a little bit here, and we can fill some of this until he gets here, and then we can come back for our picks. But I want to keep everybody on point, especially can't give him a bye week for a 0-0, especially since he's losing right now. So he definitely has to do this. But we had a great NFL season this year. Not season, excuse me, NFL week. I don't know what is going on. I can't even see anything on this thing. But the NFL had Thursday night. Thursday night football game. P4, I can't remember who quite played on Thursday night. I'm going to try and fix something here real quick. I can't even hear anything anymore. Like, I can't hear a thing. Ugh. Hold on, I'm going to try and adjust this thing.
Thursday night was the Vikings and the Rams.
Oh, yeah, that was actually a pretty good game.
You ended up having Sam Darnold, who ended up throwing for a couple touchdowns. Losing. Cooper Kupp came back from IR. He had a good game for LA. He's been in trade talks. The Rams take down Minnesota in LA 30-20. Let's go through the box score. In the first quarter, Josh Oliver, 5-yard touchdown pass. Kyron Williams, 5-yard touchdown pass from Stafford. Also in the first quarter to answer. Trent Sherfield Sr., 10-yard pass for Darnold. That does it, 14-7, end of the first. Second quarter, Cooper Kupp catches a touchdown pass to even it going into halftime. In the third, Will Reichert, the rookie kicker from Alabama that Minnesota drafted, he got a field goal, making it 17-14. Demarcus Robinson with a 25-yard pass from Matthew Stafford, 21-17 going into the fourth. Will Reichert with another field goal, and then a touchdown to Demarcus Robinson from Matthew Stafford. At the end of the game, Sam Darnold was sacked for a safety. 30-20 was your final there. PC's still working on what he's got going on, so let's hit a couple of these early games this morning. Let's pull it up on here so I can go in order. Schedule. All right. So, Philadelphia at Cincinnati. This was a game that I did not see. It looks very high scoring. Philadelphia whooped Cincinnati. Cincinnati does not have a good record. There's a couple teams that's record is not reflective of how they were, at least on paper, heading into the season. So Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, 236 passing yards. Saquon Barkley, 108 on the ground. Devonta Smith had 85 yards. I was playing him in fantasy. Did not help. Baltimore went into Cleveland, and Cleveland won. Jameis Winston, welcome back. He had 334 passing yards. Derrick Henry was the leading rusher of the game with 73. Zay Flowers with 115 yards. He was on my fantasy team. He didn't score a touchdown, though.
You need those touchdowns in fantasy.
Between him and Terry McLaurin, they have both been tackled on the 1 fucking yard line. Terry did it again today. Terry had like 2 catches for like 120 yards.
And then he got tackled.
No touchdowns. It's worth like fucking 18 points in fantasy.
Instead of like 30.
I know. Yeah, if he would have scored, then it's fucking
25, whatever.
fucking 27 or something.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. However, so Jameis, 334 yards. Cleveland wins last second. Couple of buzzer beaters. This was not one of them. The Tennessee Titans went into Detroit. Didn't see a lick of this game. Got a text from K-Stelt. Got a text from K-Stelt saying the Lions might be the best team in the NFL. And I was too busy watching the Jets game, but I saw it come across. I was like, huh, they must be playing someone like Philly or one of these teams that are like kind of like one of those middle of the pack teams, because I knew they weren't playing Kansas City or one of those like kind of superior teams. San Francisco, Dallas, obviously going on right now. Brock Purdy just ran one in for a touchdown, going up 26-10, 27, barring the extra point. Yep, I think he's it. Oh, they might call him short. But back to Tennessee, K-Stelt was saying that Detroit might be the best team in the NFL, but they kind of whooped up on Tennessee.
Yeah, and Tennessee's really bad.
Tennessee just just traded away one of their better defensive players, and if Nick Howard gets back on, maybe he'll elaborate on that. But Tennessee isn't very good, so I don't know how much you can read in Detroit based off this game. Mason Rudolph led the game in passing, 266 yards. I guess he got the start for Tennessee. Jahmyr Gibbs, 127 on the ground. Calvin Ridley, 143 through the air. So bad teams, wide receivers continuing to eat. Also in the 10 o'clock Pacific slate, Arizona at Miami. Arizona squeaks out a win. Kyler Murray, 307 yards after Black Ops 6 drops. Devon Achane, 97 on the ground. He had a receiving touchdown. And Trey McBride, I think one of his career highs, 124 receiving yards, the young tight end. Um, Also in the early slate, New York Jets visit the New England Patriots. The Patriots win 25-22. Aaron Rodgers led the game with 233 yards passing. Brees Hall, 80 on the ground, didn't really get things going. Garrett Wilson, couple good catches, 113 in the air. Devontae had some catches. Ramondre Stevenson did whatever he wanted. Jacoby Brissett was okay. The Patriots. This is a flashback. The Patriots ran the ball wherever they wanted. Jacoby Brissett, they didn't really complete a whole bunch of passes. The wide receivers had a lot of drops on their end. The Jets are a mess as far as just about everything, from just situational football to getting the snap off. I know a lot of teams are having trouble with the play clock, but the Jets wasted all 3 of their timeouts in the first quarter today.
Jeez.
The all on the same drive because of running out of time on the clock. Absolutely ridiculous. Offensive line, absolute garbage. The Patriots were starting their 7th offensive line combination through 8 weeks?
8 weeks, yeah.
So there you go. And they still beat up on the Jets. The Jets defense isn't playing as good. Sauce is, I don't know if teams are picking on him or there's just enough tape out on him or what's going on, but Sauce doesn't look the same. DJ Reed doesn't look the same. Michael Carter had a good game. Jalen Mills had a good game. Isaiah Oliver had a good game. That was all at the safety position. Devontae looked fine, I guess. I mean, people think that you get Devontae and he's going to be the best receiver in the NFL. He's not that anymore. He's what D-Hop was for Kansas City today.
Yeah.
He's what he's graduated to this upper echelon. I don't quite want to say Julio Jones on the Eagles, but there's a certain time where a wide receiver kind of takes the step back, and Garrett Wilson's still the number one. This is mostly to give Garrett more options. Braylon Allen stole a TD from Brees Hall because Brees couldn't get in. Again, the offensive line absolutely awful. Aaron Rodgers had one of his better games as a Jet, but still not nearly enough. Play calling is still no good. The team just doesn't. It's a mess. It's a mess from top to bottom. They should have never fired Saleh, and maybe that's 2020. I could have said they should have back in the day. But now looking at it, the team just has no juice. You can tell Ulbrich just feels thrust in this position. He doesn't know really what to do. I would assume a lot of his stuff is an off-season camp and warm-up, and I bet him and Woody have talked a lot about what he would do as a head coach, and a lot of that starts early in the season. And then you throw him in mid-season. It's a lot different being a head coach starting with a whole program ahead of you with a draft and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And starting, and you've already played some games. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it because it is what it is. Poor guys. I do feel for some of the players, Garrett Wilson being one of them. I don't know where you go from here. You're now tied with the Patriots at the bottom of the AFC East. So 2-6. I don't know how many teams have made the playoffs being 2-6.
Not many.
And also, I don't know if those numbers even really matter now that they have the 17-game schedule. So I don't know if that means that there's one more game for them to win or one more game for them to lose. Good news is they got the bye in front of them. Bad news is they have a short week this week. They play Thursday night, Halloween, at home against Houston. We'll see. What did Houston do today? Houston played Indianapolis. They beat Indianapolis kind of barely, and Indianapolis didn't play very
Well, and Richardson left the game in the third quarter.
Yeah,
And
so
it was
I don't know.
Not a health thing. It was just a lack of confidence.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Houston on Thursday. The Jets are in a rough spot, to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah.
You figured out your thing? You know how your headphones work now?
I think so. I think I got it finally actually working now. Hopefully.
I think we hear you better now, too.
That's a positive thing at least.
So we just got done with New York, New England. You want to take over from here? Or you want me to bang this out?
No, I can. I mean, we could go back and forth here if you want to too. We could do either way. I go this next one here. I got the Falcons and the Bucks. I watched a little bit of this game. Baker played really well. But so did Kirk O'Chains. Kirk O'Chains played really well. Bleh. Baker Mayfield ended up having 3 touchdowns with 330 yards, and then Bijan Robinson had only 63 yards, but it was a good game. It ended up being 31-26, very entertaining. That brings the Falcons, who ended up winning 5-3, and the Bucks at 4-4. Those are kind of those in-between teams. The NFC North's kind of funky, or not NFC North, NFC South. It's a little bit funky, but these two teams look like the teams that could be the ones that make the playoffs, so this game could be a key one here in the future.
Yeah, I think that's the second win Atlanta has over Tampa Bay, so sweeping them, having that head-to-head record will really help them when it comes down to it. If those two teams are 10-7, 11-6, 9-8, whatever that may be, what they typically are in the NFC South. The next two teams that I believe this was the first game in the 1 p.m. slate. This would have been 10 a.m. as well.
Yeah.
Green Bay went to Jacksonville. Green Bay gets the win 30-27. There's another game that I didn't see a whole bunch of. Josh Jacobs is on my fantasy team. He had an absolutely incredible game. 2 touchdowns on the ground, 127 yards. Tucker Kraft led the Packers and the game in receiving with 78 yards. Once again, Jordan Love cannot pick a number 1 wide receiver, and that is my biggest issue with him.
Yeah.
He could be the MVP, but I don't care if it's not the guy on my fantasy team. But between fucking Wicks and Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs, who's the other one? They got another kid on that team. I want to say Montavian Wicks, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs. There's another kid who's like not
Jalen Reed.
Jaden Reed, yeah, that's it. And there might even be another one. And then you have Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave, who were both draft picks last year at tight end. And then you bring in Josh Jacobs. You have Marshawn Lloyd also as a backup running back. And you also have A.J. Dillon. Unfortunately, he's on season-ending IR. But Josh Jacobs had a good game. Trevor Lawrence, seems like they were losing most of the game, so he ended up racking up a whole bunch of passing yards, 308. As I said, Green Bay wins 30-27 going to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's looking ahead to the draft. They're probably going to look at some sort of difference maker on their team. Probably either some sort of skill guy. I don't know if the Trevor thing's over yet, especially since they just paid him. They did lose, I don't think it was Gabe Davis. Christian Kirk, their other wide receiver. They lost him today to a broken collarbone, so they're unsure if he's going to make another return this season. But that does it for that game. Green Bay is in the NFC North looking pretty good. That's also a very good division between Minnesota and Detroit at the top. Chicago lost. We'll get to that. And then Jacksonville's probably out of it in the AFC South.
Yeah, and then we talked about the next game a little bit already. The Colts and the Texans. The Texans ended up winning 23-20. C.J. Stroud with 265 yards and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor had a good game with 105 yards and a touchdown. But the big storyline here was Anthony Richardson. He kind of walked off the field third quarter, and it was not medically related. It sounds like it might be a confidence. I don't really understand that too much. Obviously, I'm not a professional and I have no sources on anything except for the Pat McAfee show. But that is interesting to see. We'll have to wait and see. The Colts are going to be one of those in-between teams that are 4-4. It just don't seem to have an identity. Anthony Richardson, if he could figure it out a little bit, I think they could be a really great team because Jonathan Taylor's nowhere near washed. And Anthony Richardson, if he can actually throw the football, they're actually not a bad team. But it just seems like this quarterback situation has been a lot for them. The Texans end up moving along too. They only have 2 losses on the year. So shout out to the Texans. They're obviously
Short week coming up playing the Jets.
Yeah, playing the Jets gonna be a real tough one there. We'll have to wait and see on the Texans. They're always really good, but I kind of have it's giving me Bills the last 2 years vibes. It's supposed to be really really good, and then kind of falls short. But who knows? Maybe C.J. Stroud will.
What do those two teams have in common?
One guy named Stephon Diggs.
There you go.
And that's totally think the reason. I think he's going to eventually be a temper tantrum, but who knows? They've been playing all right so far. So
Would we like to hear what Anthony Richardson said after the game?
yes, I would.
Colts QB Anthony Richardson on taking himself out at the end of the game, or out of the game in the third quarter. Quote, tired, I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there that I did, so I just told Shane, Steichen, their head coach, I needed a break right there.
Yeah, that's a mentality of a Super Bowl winning team right there.
Imagine if the troops quit every time they got tired.
Yeah, I know. It's just, yeah. Man, that's unfortunate hearing that. I mean, I don't know. The Colts have always kind of been the last few years. They've been that up and down team where it's been like they're like, oh, we made the playoffs, but we're that stupid 7th seed that nobody thinks is going to do anything, and then exactly proves everybody right.
Not
by
even the
not
7th
doing
seed.
anything.
It's usually like the 4th seed.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 'cause that's usually
that
in
last division winner.
Yeah, it's like oh great, get to go watch another playoff game where the Colts get blown out. So I don't know. I'll have to wait and see on that. You want to talk about the Saints?
Yeah, the Saints played the Chargers. They kind of got shit on. I didn't see this game either. Justin Herbert, I guess, had a good game, 279 yards. Alvin Kamara, 67 yards on the ground. Ladd McConkey had a good game, 111 yards. Let's look a little more into this game.
It's kind of weird because the Saints started off 2-0 and now they're
Taysom
2-6.
Hill had a safety.
Yeah, they had safety on there. Yeah.
Okay. And then Cameron Dicker, field goal. J.K. Dobbins, 1-yard run. Blake Groupie, UCM, right?
Yep.
UCM represent.
Shouts out.
Ladd McConkey, 60-yard pass from Herbert. Blake Groupie, another one, snouts out.
Shouts
Stick
out.
to the kicker, and then Loud McConkey again from Herbert. Yeah, interesting. So McConkey, 6 catches, 11 yards, 2 touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins, 17 carries, 57 yards, 1 touchdown. Spencer Rattler,
Yeah. He's okay.
50%, 156 yards, no turnovers.
They just couldn't get anything going on offense. I don't know. They were really, really good. Their offense was explosive, and now it's just like, well, I mean, Derek Carr got hurt, and I think that really impacted them. I mean, Rattler's not bad, but I mean, I don't really think Derek Carr's that great either. But
So interesting what they're doing with that, because he doesn't really seem like Carr. Doesn't seem like one of those guys that
you pay a bunch of money
that you do this with. Like
Yeah.
Flacco, I get it. With Flacco's probably the better quarterback, but the Colts have the young guy. And it's also not his rookie year. Having Spencer start this early when you have Carr doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
I am always err on the side of putting the young guy behind a veteran for as long as possible. That's what they did with Steve Young. That's what they did with... I mean, really, the only story that it worked out the other way is Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning came in, and they knew he was going to start, and he did it, and he started all the way. But you look at Mahomes, you look at Brady, you look at Steve Young, you look at, even Elway, who was a young quarterback. He had a bad first year, and they just kept going with him. When you just throw a guy in like this, especially with, there's Saints fans with Derek Carr jerseys.
Right.
It's not Cam Newton taking over for Jimmy Clausen. It's fucking Spencer Rattler, who couldn't find a job in the FBS Division I.
Yeah, he wasn't even that great in college.
Let alone the fucking NFL.
Yeah.
And they were like 4-0 to start the season.
Yeah, they're 2-0, and now they've lost 6 straight.
2-0 and lost 3. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, but I mean, they beat the Panthers, and then they beat somebody else that wasn't any good.
The Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
They beat the Cowboys.
And the Cowboys
bad.
aren't even that good.
Week 2.
Either. But yeah, the Saints are interesting. I heard Kamara kind of wants to get out of there. I don't blame him. They're going into rebuild, it looks like.
Where would he go? Kansas City?
No. I don't think Kansas City, now that they got D-Hop. I mean, I think it's going to end up being like a Cooper Kupp situation where he's not going to go anywhere. But I mean, where else could you
Okay, but
ship
let's
him
think
out?
this out. This is a fun one. We don't do running back trades very often. Wide receiver trades happen all the time.
Right.
Who is a... Let's look at the standings. The Bills don't need a running back. The
No.
Steelers don't really need a running back. Baltimore couldn't afford him. Bengals, maybe?
Bengals
What if
could.
you- What
spark.
if Kamara went to the Bengals?
That's actually really interesting too, because they really need. It seems like they're really missing.
They
that
lost
running
Mixon,
back.
and
Right.
Mixon's killing it.
Mixon's awesome right now. That's maybe that's their missing piece that they're really looking for. That's interesting.
Yeah, I like. Let's start Kamara to the Bengals. Heard it here first on the Dudes and Sports.
Once
podcast.
Kamara goes to the Bengals, you can come back here and tell us that we're smarter
Kamara to
than
the
everybody.
Bengals is so fire, bro.
That'd be fun to watch. Absolutely. See if the Bengals
That's gonna
can get
be
back
no.
in.
They're just gonna make the AFC North Jets, where it's just all the big names on a fucking team that.
And they're
sucks.
still gonna be 4 and whatever, 14 at the end of the year, 13.
'Cause let's assume they don't trade him in the NFC. Who would he go to in the NFC? Dallas, maybe. I could see
Dallas
making a
could
move
use
for
him. Not Atlanta. Tampa Bay, maybe.
No, they would not trade him to the NFC. South.
No, you're right. Yeah, it wouldn't be in. Yeah.
Not
Arizona doesn't.
maybe
Seattle?
Arizona. No, Seattle has. Well,
Well, yeah. I mean, they have.
they got K9. K9 had a good game.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want that high-powered running back, I mean, I don't think he'll go anywhere in the NFC. I think our best is probably.
I think
gonna be the
Cowboys or Bengals. Cowboys or Bengals.
Bengals would be decent. Pretty great.
Kamara to Bengals.
Heard it here first. Well, let me go back here. Then we had the Bills play the Seahawks. The Bills ended up winning 31-10. Josh Allen ended up having 283 yards and 2 touchdowns. They played well. Seattle
James
was
Cook ran wherever he wanted.
yeah, 111 yards and 2 touchdowns for James Cook. The Bills, like, they're going to be really, really good again this year, obviously. Like, they've only lost 2 games. They'll be interesting. They'll be definitely the top part of the AFC with the Chiefs. But, yeah, it'll be, they got these pieces together. Amari Cooper, still a good pickup, I believe. That'll end up helping them in the end. But then the Seattle Seahawks are really interesting because you don't really know like who they are. They're kind of like the Colts. Like it's like they should be pretty good, but they're not. Like what are they 4-4? Yeah, they're 4-4 now. They started off the year like 3-1. I think they're like 1-3 in the last 4. They just need to figure it out a little bit. Get the ball to DK Metcalf. Shouldn't be that difficult. Their wide receiving corps there is pretty good. But I don't know. That NFC West is really interesting. It looks like the 49ers are probably going to end up beating the Cowboys here tonight.
Geno, you can see the years on Geno now. And the
Yeah.
Seahawks have been putting off getting a young quarterback to sit behind Geno. And now would be the time for a Rattler type move.
Drew Lock. Just kidding, he's on the Giants.
No, he's on the Giants, yeah. I think they have kid who was on the Commanders last year. What was his name? Not Sam Hartman. I think he was another Notre Dame kid, though.
Can't think of who it is. I think of
I got it. Sam Howell.
Sam Howell. That's the North Carolina kid. Yeah.
Yeah, UNC.
Yep, that'd be interesting to see if they give him a shot. I don't know yet. Geno definitely has some age on him. But we'll have to wait and see on that. You want to do the next game? Or you want me to get the next game?
What is it?
It's
We're
the
doing
Broncos,
Carolina, Denver.
It's
So
not
I
even that
did
much
watch
to
some
talk.
of this game. Bryce Young, he didn't play. He didn't look too bad. His opening drive during the script, he looked really good. Xavier Legette, a touchdown, that connection. Hopefully that goes for many years to come, but who knows. Bryce Young, I don't know what you do. And Dave Canales, I mean, you got to give him 5 years with this kid.
Yeah.
You just got to see it through. You traded up in the first round to get Xavier Legette so you can get the 5th-year option on him. Bryce Young, you got the 5th-year option on him. Just see it out. You got Dalton still. Throw Dalton back in when he's healthy if Bryce can't figure it out. Bring in a guy like Tannehill if you have to or whatever. but you gotta figure it out. You gotta give these guys a chance. You can't do the Jet thing where you just give it a year and a half, and if it doesn't work, blow it up, start all over. Give it a year and a half. If it doesn't work, start all over. You got to building block. Cohen, not Cohen. Who's theirs? Tepper, David Tepper. He's got to prove that he's a good owner, man. And these ownership groups are ruining professional sports leagues. You can see it more and more as the passing days go, and these streaming deals get bigger, and these player contracts get bigger, and these jersey sales go up. You got to give these guys a shot, and Denver's doing the same thing with Bo Nix and Sean Payton. Now they did pick a guy with a little more pedigree, but that's I think what Tepper's going for is he wants the young guys. He wants to kind of do it the underdog way, where the Broncos are kind of doing it the classic way where you get Sean Payton, an old grizzled veteran Super Bowl winning head coach, and then you get Bo Nix, who has I think the most collegiate starts of anyone ever.
Yeah,
like the guy started like 6 years in NCAA. He already has 60 starts under his belt past high school.
Right.
So doing this, I mean, he's still struggling obviously as a rookie. And they don't look too good, but they beat up on Carolina pretty good. And Carolina shouldn't just tear it all down. Reminds me a lot of the Jets back in the day. And they tried trading for Baker and Sam, had them both on the same team. You can't do it. You can't win like that. Reminds me of the Jets after they were good. You get rid of Sanchez, get rid of Cam Newton, and look where you end up.
Yeah. No, 100%. We'll have to wait and see. Carolina's definitely down in that. We're kind of looking towards the draft area as well. Yeah, I totally agree with you with the whole. They got to give him some years, be able to figure it out a little bit. You know, he can't just blow it up. But it'll be interesting. And then we had a phenomenal ending to the Bears-Commanders game. It ended up being 18-15. It really came down to the fourth quarter drama. Roshan Johnson ended up running the touchdown to give the Bears the lead. And then with, I think it was 6 seconds left in the game, Jaden Daniels is on their own 40 pretty much. Heaves it up in the air. Everybody's going nuts. Everybody thinks the Bears are back. The Bears are back. Jaden Daniels says, "No, sir." Tip drill right into the wide receiver's hands. At the very end, no time left on the clock. Washington ends up winning 18-15. P4, did you see the video of, I cannot remember the defensive back's name to say it.
Tyreek Stevenson.
That was nuts with him going and mocking the crowd.
No, not really. Not really. Being out on a football field, there's a lot of grass out there. That's not really a situation that you're ready for. And he didn't do the right thing. I think maybe him getting caught off guard. I don't think it's not the first time anything like this has happened.
No, it's not.
People do this on the sidelines all the time. I mean, if we went up in arms every time we see a DB celebrate after a drop and on further review it's a catch. I mean,
yeah,
you can't blame that kid. Obviously, it's not a great look, but because hindsight's 20/20, it was an incredible play. You get taught as a DB always knock it down, and then box out. Don't let anyone behind you. No one behind you, and there you go. Noah Brown right in the back of the end zone, waiting right behind the pile. It was perfect by Jaden Daniels. You're supposed to throw it short of the end zone. You don't want it going out of the back because then you don't have a chance. Keeping it short of the end zone and then allowing that to happen. You look at 90% of the Hail Marys that's ever been completed other than Aaron Rodgers. That's how it always goes.
Right.
Is that little tip drill. The Gerard one's pretty funny too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a pretty good game.
Washington now finds himself at 6-2, which is pretty crazy to see them be so successful.
They're a good football team, and Dan Quinn's a good football coach.
Yeah.
Cliff
And Jaden
Kingsbury's
Daniels
a
is
good
good
offensive
too.
coordinator. Jaden Daniels playing incredible. Austin Eckler's playing good.
Mm-hmm. They got that combo with who's the other running back there? Robinson. Brian
Robinson. He's doing pretty good. Wide receivers, they have a lot of weapons on that team.
Yep, scary Terry. Yeah.
Between them and the Bills, and then like the Jets and the Bengals, where you have two teams who are good with like a whole crew of no-name wide receivers, and then two teams who have just these fucking fantasy top 10 picks, and they can't do anything. So
yeah.
that tells you how important the wide receiver position is, at least by name.
Yeah, 100%. And then the last one I can talk about a little bit, I guess, because it is the Kansas City Chiefs, still for keeping their undefeated record at 7-0, as they were able to beat the Oakland Raiders. This is a lot closer than it probably should have been. But this is kind of the Chiefs' mentality when they play these types of games where they're supposed to blow people out. They just can't seem to win. Like they always end up winning the game. So I can't really talk. Like I can't obviously you're a Jets fan. It's completely different right now. But they never can just win the game. Like they can't just keep their foot on the gas and not let the team slowly kind of get back into it. And they kind of did that again today. I mean, they were up 27-13, and they kind of let them, they scored a late touchdown. I mean, I guess it's only 20, but still, Patty had a good game. Kareem Hunt had a touchdown. Travis Kelce had a long touchdown, so Patty had 2. So another good win for the Chiefs. They're obviously still the favorites in the AFC. We got some pretty decent matchups coming up, but we'll have to wait and see on that. I don't know. There's not much else to say about the Chiefs. And then we've got one Monday night game that I don't know if, unless you are a Giants fan or a Steelers fan, you're going to tune in too much of. But that should be an interesting contest. We'll have to see if the Steelers can keep it rolling, if Russell's going to be really their best option, or did they take Justin Fields out a little too early. So we'll have to wait and see. But
Russell looked good last week.
he did look really good last week. Yeah, he did. So we'll have to wait and see on them. But yeah, that's it for NFL. Do we want to talk about a little bit of a broken jaw and a nasty knockout?
You go into it. I was, I did watch the fights. I can give a little analysis on what I saw, but I was on a bus going to Bainbridge Island to play a JV football game.
Oh, wow.
We lost 42-0. So.
Yeah. No, yeah, there was actually a great fight. I was not, I was also out in at homecoming in Warrensburg, but I did end up getting to catch a little bit of this, especially the main card. It was a kind of a weird, it wasn't a weird start, obviously, because it was over in, wasn't it over in Saudi? No, it was in Australia. No, it was in Saudi. So, but the first main card fight, I didn't really see much of the prelim stuff. So, but I heard there's some pretty good knockouts there. But the first one, the Red Bullet, man, Shara, man, that double spinning back fist, man, ended up getting that knockout.
Incredible. It's a very simple combo of hook,
Yeah.
but it's backwards.
Yeah, he just
First
he
time I've ever seen
smoked
that.
him.
I mean, it's just a one this way, one that way, but you can't block it if it's coming from
both
fucking
directions.
backwards. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
First time I've seen anything like that.
Yeah, that's probably one of the coolest back elbow knockouts that I've seen since a John Jones knockout type. That just kind of felt like that type of energy. So the Red Bullet's definitely been on the rise. He's still on the rise. Phew! Oh.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me. But then we had Leron Murphy ended up beating Danny Ing by unanimous decision. This was an alright fight. They stood there and brawled a little bit for the fans, but compared to the rest
That's all
of the
Ige does.
yeah, they just sat there and they just thugged it out. But it ended up being pretty close. I still think that Murphy did a lot better, so they ended up getting the W, obviously. But good fight, interesting fight. We'll have to wait and see what happens next for those two. And then we had, you guys help me out with some of these pronunciations because I'm gonna butcher them. It is Ankalev, right? In Rakic, Alexander Rakic.
Oh, Alexander Rakic and Mohayev Ankalaev.
Ankalaev, yeah. So Ankalaev ended up winning also by unanimous decision. Another one of those fights that was pretty good, but we ended up not getting to see a knockout. Ankalaev had no takedowns, nails. Yeah, they stood there and they pretty much boxed. They hit 75 strikes compared to 59. did some okay damage. Again, one of those mid fights that was good, but like obviously was not the main attraction. This submission, P4. Have you ever seen somebody break their jaw like Whitaker did after Kazmat took him in that rear naked choke? Did you see that photo of Whitaker's jaw?
I think that was due to punching. The choke, or at least the choke that he tapped on, was so quick that couldn't have happened then.
But
I think that happened previous in the fight, and Bobby's just a fucking brawler. That there's no way that could have happened.
Because it was like she had the 3 teeth right here. You can see in that photo. It's all over the place. You can't see
and
it.
I think
They said it like broke
X-ray
like it's like right here, and it's like pushed back or something. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's the clarity on it 100%. But I mean, Kazmat's been dealing with some the kid that blood disease or whatever, and he's been dealing with some stuff for a year. Finally having him back in the cage is always fun to see. He made real quick work of Robbie, so he should be getting. You think he'll get a title shot here again in the near future?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he was supposed to already.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and then they had that year where he had a bunch of stuff going on that he didn't fight at all because of that.
Yeah,
health
he's
issues.
an interesting cat, man. I don't know if he'll ever fight in the U.S. again either, which may have something to do with getting a title fight as well. I mean, obviously they had one title fight this last weekend that was in Abu Dhabi, but typically they try to do a lot of title fights in Vegas. So we'll see what they do with him. Obviously, he's moving up the rankings. He'll be up there 1, 2, or 3. Right now, you have Trickus Duplessis still at 185. Yeah, so if Duplessis still at 185, it's going to be him. Shera just called out Izzy. Whitaker, he can fight like Vittori or something, or maybe a young guy who's coming up. Bo Nickel, I don't know.
I heard that the Bo Nickel fight would be really interesting to see. I don't know if Bo Nickel's quite got enough to beat that cat yet, but that'd be a great.
Yeah, Whitaker's gonna need some time off too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna need some surgeries to help out there. But yeah, crazy submission. And then we had the Matador. Oh man, that knockout was nuts. Seeing a guy like Holloway go down like that, obviously
He's got power, man.
he's so good. He's so quick too. Like it's awesome to see. Like now that we have so many, I was saying this a little bit earlier to a few friends of mine. I was like, we have a lot of guys that are grapplers that are champions right now. We have Bilal, we got Mirab, all these kind of takedown artists, guys who like to sit there and grapple, and that's part of the sport, and that's fine. But having a showstopper like Ilya be able to box and knock guys out that do not get knocked out. Volkanovski does not get knocked out. Max Holloway does not get knocked out, and both of them go down to Ilya like a sack of potatoes. I'm really excited to watch his era and see what happens next. P4, do you know what would be a good next opponent for the Matador in that division for maybe a next possible title fight here in 9 months?
Now, I don't know if it is in that division. I think it is probably moving up and fighting someone like Islam or something. He kind of cleared it out because Max and Volt cleared it out before him. I mean, we can look at the rankings and see what.
Yeah, but I don't really think those are the two guys with Max and Volt, and both those guys got.
So at featherweight, Diego Lopez. He's already beat Yair Rodriguez. He's already beat Brian Ortega. He's already beat Josh Emmett. Yeah, probably Diego Lopez, or going up and fighting Islam. I know Islam wants to take some time off and fight Arman too. So, yeah, he's also called out Bilal Muhammad. He's convinced Ilya has convinced he can be the first 3 division champ. So I don't know if him or Pierre gets to it first, but yeah, he's definitely a very powerful cat. Max still has the BMF. That wasn't a BMF fight. the BMF, everyone who's won the BMF has gotten knocked out right after the next fight. So
Yep.
that's something interesting.
I heard that there might be a BMF. What do you think? Could this actually be the possibility that BMF one night tournament where they fight each other, the winners fight each other one night? I don't know if you could actually ever get something like that.
You would never get that sanctioned.
I don't
mean,
think either,
that was
yeah.
UFC 1 and UFC 2. The PFL does something similar. Hey, Kyle. PFL
Well,
does
look, finally
a
decided to
bracket,
show up.
but
Been on this podcast for over an hour now, and just
Cindy
said
is
to
his
show
second receiving touchdown of the night.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see what happens between them. K-Stel was obviously in the front office with his contract negotiations. He's been pretty vivid about his 10-day contract. But we are getting kind of sick and tired of this too. So K-Stel, can you let the audience know why you should be extended more than this 10-day contract? As a very serious boss right now of the Dudes of Sports podcast, where you get paid $0.00, and you just get to hang out. What is your negotiations to continue to be on the podcast and still making $0.00?
Well, he certainly makes 0 cents.
Yeah, we all do that.
Well, even though this has just been a joke that's been passed on since the beginning of the podcast, I feel like my absence for a little bit shouldn't spark concern. P4 didn't show up for a podcast because both of his teams lost on the same day, which in a way is very understandable, but still didn't show up to work, and we didn't bat an eye. Nick Howard, of course, hasn't given clear, examples of why he isn't here.
I heard
and
he
yet
was
we still haven't
he was
terminated him.
kangaroo hunting in Australia.
What do you? And I can't be doing the same thing. Maybe
No,
I just
because
got
he's
back from
Nick
Romania,
Howard.
trying to fix a raid on the Tate brothers. So, what? Actually, I'll tell you what I
That's
did.
where I heard he was. That's what he told me in the email.
No,
while I
here's
wasn't here
here's what was happening. I was producing. Well, I can't say this now because P4's not here, and he would have gotten a laugh out of it. But what happened was I was producing, a live stream for 2 people today. It was actually a Madden live stream for 2 people today. It was Governor Tim Walz and Representative Alexandria AOC. So they decided to stream and do a Madden football match, and I was producing that, and I just got back from DC today.
I got you. I didn't. Next
So I
time we
feel
just we need an email verification next time, just so we know what's going on in life instead of it being you're just constantly being late.
It was
So
the
you're-
the Democratic Party told me not to tell anybody, so
Yeah, well,
I don't.
Thank God this is not a Democratic podcast. Anyways, we are gonna go back to college football because we thought we'd wait for you for the picks for this week. I'll go over the ones from last week as P4 finds his way back into his comfortable seat. But the ones from last week, P4 was not a part of because due to sadness, and so he decided not to. But K-Stel and I gave both of our picks, so I'm going to go through those quickly. We had the Notre Dame Fighting Irish playing Navy. We had Notre Dame minus 13. Both of us chose America, and Notre Dame decided not to choose America and ended up destroying them. So both of you and I went 0-1 on that one. Then Rock Chalk Jayhawk sucks really bad. Likes to blow fourth quarter leads. Already had a rant about that today, but they ended up losing, so we're both 0-2. Then we go and look at the Bama-Mizzou game, and I don't know why you ever picked the Missouri Tigers to do anything good in the SEC, because they got their butt kicked. I ended up getting that right, making me 1-2, and you 0-3. And then the final game we had was LSU, Texas A&M. I thought Nick Howard gave me all the faith in the world to pick LSU. They ended up losing to Texas A&M. Both Kyle and I go 1-3 this week. I am at 14-19 overall. P4 still 17-12. Kyle is at 12-20. So we'll move on to the picks for this week. The first one I have for the dudes. is number 18 Pittsburgh, undefeated Pittsburgh, going to SMU. SMU is 7.5-point favorites. Main man from way out west, do you think that they're going to beat them by more than a touchdown, or is this going to be a lot closer?
I think it'll be closer than that. I'll take Pitt. Pitt in the points.
Pitt in the points. K-Stel, are you at the same type of logic?
I liked how Pitt played against Cuse. Defense was solid. What, they got 5 picks off of that Kyle kid, Kyle McCord?
Shit.
Yeah, they were terrible.
Dude, that was incredible. Like, in not a good way. I'll take Pitt points. I like what they got going on. I got a buddy, Nate Matlack, playing there. Not kind of playing. He's on the team.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna join the boat with everybody else and also pick Pittsburgh. I think they're 8-0. I think the ACC, they're gonna be in the championship to maybe play Miami as long as all goes well. But yeah, I'm also gonna take Pittsburgh in the points. Second game is number 19 Ole Miss at the old Razorbacks. There's been a few upsets already at the Razorbacks house, but Ole Miss is favored by 5.5 points. K-Stel, what's your prediction there, man?
What are the points again?
5.5 Ole Miss. 5.5
Is
minus
it
5.5.
in Oxford?
No, it's in
Fayetteville.
Arkansas. It's in Fayetteville.
Yeah. I wish I could ask my hog expert on this one, but I think I'm gonna give it to Lane. I really don't know much about Arkansas, like their team.
They're okay.
Like I know they
have a
beat,
good upset,
I know they
but
beat Tennessee, but like do
It's
they
always
really? I
hard
mean,
to
I
go
don't
win
know.
in Hog Nation.
5. Let's go
5.
5. Let's go 5. Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, you're gonna take Ole Miss. Ole Miss here.
Yeah, let's.
P4, main man from way out west. Does that logic sound good to you, or?
Nope, I'll take the home team getting points.
Yeah, I think I'm also going to jump on the Arkansas points. I think that they're going to maybe even upset them. They always get kind of 1 or 2 good upsets there. So I'm also going to take Arkansas. Number 3 is, it's kind of like this week there's been a few good games, but like they're just okay. There's one really good one, which is our last one. But this one, the point spread kind of made me interested. So it's number 10, Texas A&M. At South Carolina, Texas A&M minus 3.5 points. P4, are you going to blow the over on that, or do you think it's going to be a lot closer since it's at South Carolina?
At South Carolina.
They're okay. They're 4-3 on the year. They've had some good wins and some really bad losses.
God, 3.5 does not seem like a lot of points. Let's go with A&M.
Gonna go A&M beating them by more than 3.5. K-Stel, you got that logic too, or you going against the grain?
Going A&M. I don't know if I can, pick a team that roots for the Cox. Just kind of against my nature. So I'll go A&M points. Don't look at me like that, P4.
I am going to. I don't know if I want to join that bandwagon or not. It's a good bandwagon. 3.5 points, Texas A&M. I have a lot of faith in A&M. I think A&M's also going to win. They have huge wins now. They're a top 10 team in the nation. They're really to look to maybe win the SEC this year. We don't know if that'll end up happening, obviously, but we'll have to wait and see. The final game is the biggest game of the weekend. It is number 4, Ohio State, going to the whiteout of Penn State. Ohio State minus 4. K-Stel, do you think it's going to be minus 4 Ohio State, or do you think Penn State and the whiteout's going to be too much for Will Howard?
This is goofy. Whoever picked this line is silly. This is absolutely Penn State's game. Whiteout? Are you kidding me? Also, just by looking at what Ohio State was against Nebraska, who is going to pick Ohio State? I don't trust Will Howard. I've never trusted Will Howard. I'm going the Nitwee Lions. Points. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see on the
Point
whiteout.
and win.
Main man from way out west.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Penn State here. I think them getting points is what sells it for me. Ohio State's only loss is to Oregon, but Penn State's undefeated and it's at home. Big Ten matchup. Tough to go against them with them getting points.
Yeah. So most times I would try to go against you, but again, I'm kind of on the same page here. So we're either all going to score really well this week, or we're all going to score really bad. Because I'm joining on the Penn State whiteout ride too. I think they're legit in the Big Ten. I think they're going to be the ones that I don't think they have enough to quite beat Oregon
I just don't
this year.
know how that's not pass interference.
But I mean, that's just going to be the way it is. Okay, Steltzer, do you want to talk about the World Series, or are you just done talking baseball since it's all big crap and all that? So I got to find my whiteboard for Smart or Dumb.
I can dabble with it. I'll say that the Dodgers look really good. Shocking because they spent $1 billion in the offseason. Aaron Boone is showing that even though you have like 110 people in the front office that are doing sabermetric and analytics work and basically study every single pitcher you're going to face and how they're going to pitch in every scenario, it doesn't matter how much, answers you get for the test. If you're a stupid idiot, you're going to manage like a stupid idiot. So, Freddie Freeman, walk-off grand slam. I'm not really rooting for either team, but I really hate the Yankees with all my heart. So, if I had to see one team lose more than the other, it's the Yankees. Nestor Cortez is a bum. He's always been a bum. Take that, Donald Trump. Shohei getting injured. I don't know if he's. I mean, what is it? Like a minor?
No, it's
like
not minor.
shoulder.
It's a shoulder. It's like a dislocation.
Shoulder dislocation.
Yeah.
So
he said he's gonna play Game 3 on Monday.
Doesn't really. I mean, a shoulder dislocation and then he's gonna play. That sounds, to me it sounds absurd. So I don't know if it's really a shoulder dislocation. He might have popped it, like you're getting out of bed and your shoulder's messed up, and they're just trying to create another media line. But as of right now, it looks like the Dodgers are probably going to win it. I know they're going to the Bronx. Yankees will probably pull one out and, figure out a way to win a game with all the spirits that live there, but I think the Dodgers take this in 5.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you too. I don't know.
Other than that, baseball, getting the article written up and stuff like that. Other than that, nothing much for baseball.
Yeah, baseball is wrapping up here. We'll have a World Series winner here on the next podcast, and we'll slowly fizzle out for stupid baseball with Hoops Nation, college basketball, and NBA is coming back. We're super excited about that. We'll make sure to put K-Stout and I, and maybe P4 if he wants to put it together. Let's put together our top 10s for next week for college basketball. Should be a lot of fun there. We can debate a little bit. But the show's not over until the end because of our most exciting time of our entire podcast. Everybody's been waiting for this since we started. It is time for Smart or Dumb. If you don't remember how Smart or Dumb works, we have one host. Our host this week is, of course, Mr. P4. You end up having 5 questions to give the other 2 dudes, usually vocabulary. Sometimes it's sports related. Other times it's about movies or whatever. So you better be prepared on the trivia front. I'm trying to find my cursor here.
Before we get into it, this was going to be one of the questions, but they just came up with a cool stat over the top, so I have a spare anyway. Today, National Tight Ends Day, the most catches on a single day by tight ends in NFL history. 177 catches.
177 catches on one day for tight ends.
For tight ends, it's the most ever on National Tight End Day 2024.
Hey, how about that?
watching.
Didn't they like break? Wasn't there a stat that was broken last year on tight end day? It was like
Probably.
George Kittle and Sam Laporta had like the most touchdowns between two tight ends, or it was something goofy.
We gotta clear the board. Didn't clear the board. Yeah, I shared the screen while I cleared the board.
And the game has gone final. This doesn't even look close to Kyle.
It's pretty accurate to me, I think.
What should I look like, P4?
You know what you should look like.
The hair should
P4,
be
did I tell you
red.
what? The reason I wasn't here,
Why is that, Kyle?
I was producing the Twitch live stream for AOC and Governor Tim Walz. Yeah. Very, very intelligent football minds right there.
Almost as good as the guys on the Dude in Sports podcast.
You know what? Why don't we just give Tim Walz
I like how
call
Tim
up.
Walz almost took multiple delay of game penalties like Aaron Rodgers, and they were both probably thinking about the same thing. Like border crises and stuff. Letting the play clock run down. Rodgers, get your head in the game.
All right, here's our current score: 2-2. It's
Really?
technically week 2, yeah, because last week was week 1.
All right.
And we didn't
Well,
have,
let's get right into
it.
it, fellas. Do we have boards?
Kind of. I'm gonna try my best.
I have my phone. I promise I'm not searching up stuff.
Oh no, my marker.
All right. Today's questions are all based on who watched football today.
Oh great.
Oh my gosh.
Question number 1. What
Oh,
is funner
jeez.
to say than Fumblerooski?
I have no idea. That's not marker busted.
The way that Kyle logged the fucking...
He knew it right away too. He's like,
Finish my-
I know the sayings. I don't know anything about football, but the sayings I know. From the bottom of my heart, I watch the Manny cast every day, all day. It's my favorite thing. Screw football as long as I get to watch Peyton
PC
Manning.
should know this. PC should know.
I don't know it.
What
don't have
is
a marker.
funner to say than Fumblerooski?
He's looking through
All
his
right, guys.
items.
I don't have it. I need my marker.
Are we ready yet, PC?
I don't have. I don't even know it. So just have to
Dylan!
I don't have a marker.
Slippy, help!
And the pump now is not working on my costume, so this is DEFCON 1 around here. Can't see anything. Kyle, just answer it. I'm taking an L. Ain't no way I know what it is anyways.
Kyle, what is it?
Bundle Rooski, Bundle Rooski.
Now, you would have gotten an extra point for the Bundle Rooski Doo.
No.
Bundle Rooski Doo is what I have written down.
He's got to take it off. He's got to
But-
take it off.
Bundle Rooski is correct. The new State Farm commercial with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, where they go over the Fumble Rooski with Jake from State Farm, and Jake goes, "Oh, you could also bundle and save on your car and auto insurance." And then it cuts to a wide shot of Andy Reid going, "Bundle Rooski, Bundle Rooski, Bundle Rooski do."
It's a very weird commercial. I do
See
not
what they
like
say.
it.
The first time I heard it, I thought I was having like a fucking panic attack. Bundle Rooski, Bundle Rooski. All right, question number 2.
Oh no.
National Tight End Day. What tight end had their first multi-touchdown game today? PC, are you ready?
Kind of. I'm taking this thing off.
His first?
I think I know what it is, but I'm having a lot of technical difficulties.
Multi-game?
Oh my god!
15.
This is a wild shot.
I can't even see.
5.
Bro, what the heck?
I'm surprised P4 was or
Get
PC
it.
wasn't talking like Kenny the whole time.
Oh! Oh,
He made it.
I took a lot of work. Haha! I'm gonna die!
What tight end had their first multi-touchdown game today?
Mine's a long shot, but
I think I
wouldn't be.
think I'm in a
5,
I don't have a green tax.
4,
Ugh!
3,
I got it!
2.
I got it!
1. Let's see it, gentlemen. Kyle Pitts is correct.
Oh my god! This is all rigged. Every time I play this game, it's all rigged.
Isn't that crazy? First multi-touchdown game.
Gosh,
Yeah.
dang Kyle Pitts.
Now, let me double check this stat based on the Sunday Night Football.
Did he say Croft?
Yeah, Tyler Croft. Well, let's also double check that he didn't also have his. No,
That would be crazy.
no, Tyler Croft didn't even score a touchdown on that.
I thought that's who was the tight end that scored for. Isn't he on the Packers?
No, that's Luke Musgrave. And then Tucker Kraft.
That's the track.
But Tyler Croft plays for the Bengals. Who was today's leading passer?
Yeah, I'm locking it in.
I think I have one.
9, 8,
I
7.
don't know why. But like for some reason I saw something and I was like,
We ready to flip them?
Yup.
sure.
Let's see it.
I got
Oh,
Kyle
Mix.
Rudolph.
No, and
Kyle.
no, it was Jameis. Jameis had
No.
334 yards. Jameis had 334 yards and 3 touchdowns with no turnovers. Question number 4, when was Jameis's last game with multiple touchdowns and no turnovers?
Do I have to give you
Closest
the
gets
year?
the point unless you guys both get it.
His last
And then
game?
you guys both get it. Yep, last game. Closest.
Okay.
Last game to have multi?
Multi-touchdown with no turnovers. Today's date is October 27th, 2024. I have what week, what day.
Shoo! Shoo!
Example of an answer could be like week 8, 1992, or September 29th, 2006.
I got mine.
All right, Kyle, let's see it.
I'm ready. I got Saints week 12, 2023.
Week
Week
9,
9,
2022.
That's
I'm-
2020.
2020.
Neither of you guys are really close. It was opening week 2022, 2 seasons ago. It's been
Yeah, you gotta
over
get like.
2 series.
I think if you got it, in the year.
Yeah,
you
I don't
win.
know if either of you guys.
No,
are
we don't
close
get
enough
that
to
point.
get-
No, because like mine's like almost a year, like way over a year out.
Oh, that's
Jabu.
rough.
Who was today's leading receiver? This is a sports podcast, guys. That also has a fantasy league attached to it.
Yep.
Yeah, I do know that.
Any guesses?
I've got one.
Alrighty, gentlemen. Let's see it.
I've got Marvin Harrison Jr.
Amon-Ra.
No, Amon-Ra wasn't even the leading receiver on his team, and Marvin Harrison wasn't the leading receiver on his team. CeeDee Lamb in the Sunday night game had 13 catches, 146 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That does it for Smart or Dumb. The answer is they both are.
I hate this game. I don't know why we even came up with it. We should, totally not play it anymore. It'd make things go a lot smoother on everybody's end. Especially mine.
4-2. You didn't even get an answer right.
No, I
Jesus
didn't!
Christ, man.
I'm not good at this!
You're super bad.
No, yeah, I can't do trivia. Not a good trivia guy. But that's okay. We still got 2 weeks left. 15 questions still left to go. I got time for Kyle to not do very well and me to pick up the pace a little bit. Just had a bad week. It happens once in a while. More often than not with me, but it is what it is sometimes.
Wow.
So
You should have got the Fumble Rooski one. That commercial was on every commercial break today.
yeah, did not.
Do you watch Red Zone or a game?
I watch games usually.
Yeah, you should have seen it, dude.
I don't know. I had multiple things going on. I was writing a paper for my master's too, so it was kind of like both things. So the commercials were on. My sound was off.
Never catch me working for a master.
Yeah. So that's about gonna do it for Dudes in Sports today. As always, last thoughts from the boys. Main man from way out west. What's your final words?
Follow me on X, guys. At Pay Bonaventura. Dudes and sports articles and all that kind of jazz on there. I also give my takes on sports and the upcoming election season. No, I don't. Donate via Super Chat. Like, subscribe, smash the notification bell if you haven't already. Comment down below. Should Kyle keep his hair like that? Question mark. Comment down below. Thank you for watching, listening. Find us on YouTube, live stream, 7:30, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Central, 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. And goodbye, folks.
Okay, Stel.
Yeah, before I close it out, I actually have not really breaking news, but maybe you guys don't know about this. This is from Real Rob Reinhart. This is a news reporter from New York. Covers normally college basketball and the Yankees. This came out saying Aaron Judge is under investigation for using performance-enhancing drugs. MLB received an anonymous tip last week that they are actively investigating the allegation. Judge is set to undergo drug test ahead of Game 3 Monday night. So that would be crazy if Judge got... Which is crazy because Judge would be the first player to suck after using PEDs, which is kind of funny. Just really funny, quick baseball stuff. Other than that, Jayhawks, just get to the next season, get out, clear everyone, get rid of them all. JD, see ya. I need Isaiah Marshall. Kansas Hoops, Dewan, shout out. You were funny as hell. Hunter Dickinson's also super funny. Guy that probably won't play a lot, but David Coit, he's my homie now. I had a fun day at Allen Fieldhouse. It was electric. And to the guy that was being a dick the entire time, to me, I hope you have a good day tomorrow. So other than that, Hoops, I'm ready. Also, still looking into this, May or may not start soft rooting for the Clippers, just because I think it'll probably make my NBA experience a little bit more fun. Because it's hard to watch
Pick a
the
team
and,
makes
and
way better.
yeah, but I'm not gonna sell my soul to them because I don't want to do that to myself, especially for the Clippers. Like a James Harden team, I can't do that. But I think it'll be fun. I like their fan section they got, with the free throws.
Yeah,
That was pretty electric. So we'll see.
College
We'll see on the
basketball
next
type
episode.
atmosphere.
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'll be on full time next week. I promise.
It's okay. We have that contract negotiations. Those are going on behind the scenes, so we don't know. But like, subscribe. Thanks for hanging out with us. Come check us out every Sunday, 9:30 Central, 7:30 for you Pacific Coasters. We will see you guys next time.